starting our Git in GitHub tutorial series, and this particular series we are going to understand what exactly the version control systems and distributed version control, which is the Git itself. What is the difference between version control system and distributed version control system? So this is just introductory sessions. Here I'm just uh, explaining about the agenda, what all we are going to cover in this series. So the intent of launching this particular series to uh, to give some hands-on kind of experience to all my viewers, where they can understand about uh, the Git and GitHub as well. So let's come to the agenda of today's sessions. So as I explained, we are just going to cover what all we are going to cover in this series. So I'm just briefing about. So in first video, we are going to cover Git and about the Git and GitHub kind of relation if we have between these two. If yes, then what exactly the relation between these two, and how we can distinguish and how we can effectively use both of these. Next, we will cover installation part, and this installation will cover Windows machine as well as Linux machines. So as we understood, we can even understand. In general, we always use Windows for our and everyone almost is having Windows machines, but some of you perhaps do not have Linux. And but in real time environment, and when we are working on Git, then we work on Linux environment. So considering all these aspects, we will give you a brief about how we can create a Linux instance, Linux machines in a AWS cloud, where we do not pay anything about. Um, we can create a numerous like a number of machines as per our need, and definitely this is the free of charge. There is a certain restrictions, so that I'll explain so that you will not be charged anything and you can utilize. You can perform your practicing by creating one machine, two machine, or any number of machines on AWS cloud. Because of AWS cloud is offering almost 12 months free of um, for creating EC2 machines instances. So where we will explain like how we can create an instance and how we can install the Git on that, and we can connect in our local and connect the same from the local environment. Next, we will cover the environment configuration. So in this particular session, we will cover how effectively, efficiently we can use this environment configuration sections. This is crucial in terms of understanding and in terms of working in a day to day. For example, when we initially installing the Git and we supposed to add, and we have to add username and email addresses and kind of merge tool addition, and if we are adding some remotes, if we are adding some alias of any of commands. So likewise, we will understand all these steps. Repository, local and remote, and day to day, we will heard about like local repository, remote repository, private repository, public repository. So we will learn about what exactly all these, and during this particular session, we will understand the local repository about the remote repository. So how we can create a repository, that we will learn working area, staging area, and an index area. So what exactly the role of the working area, staging area, index area, and why we need and how we can efficiently use all these. So we will cover all these aspects during the sessions. Next, some Git commands we will explore, kind of init, add status, commit, log, branch, checkout, push, pull, fetch. And so we will see how we can um, utilize effectively, where we exactly use and what all the purposes on a particular command will be used. So all this we will cover during our live session. And branching strategy, because we next session we will explore about the branching strategy, because of this is something where every organization has their own branching strategy. Just for example, we can consider um, a few of organization creating some branches for production, then they have some specific branch for productions, and kind of restrictions they have, like some specific individuals would only have access, kind of access control they can impose, like where they have some testing branch, it's EOT branch, or some a feature branch, kind of. Even in our day-to-day work, sometimes if some bug is reported, and we have to uh, give some task where we have to fix the bug. So here we have to create a new branch from the existing production code, and definitely we do not want to disturb the no, like the organization even would not allow us to disturb the existing production code. So this will be always good to create a new branch. So kind of bug branch or feature branch or something. Once we fix, and then we will merge again back to the master code, or we can continue if some product kind of um, a company, if we are working in a company where some product is, and we will cover all these aspects in details. So the branching strategy, how we can create a branch with the help of checkout and with the help of branch command itself, how we can switch from one branch to another branch, how we can renaming or removing the branch in case we require. This is some next we are going to record a session very specific to log command, which I personally felt this is a very crucial command and mostly be used, and a lot of options we have like available that we can use along with the git when we are executing this. So we will learn in detail all available options along with the default log command, and and during this during the same time we will also see if we are creating we are customizing our log command with the help of multiple options, and every time we supposed to run the same command. So do we have kind of alias that we can create, how we can create the alias and all, so that we will cover in this in detail. Stress, this is also a command and features that is Git is providing us, and we will explore this in detail, how we can create a stress, and the, the advantage behind using this. Just a brief about, I'm just considering a case. For example, we are working on code where we are working on to develop some specific features, but out of sudden we we have been assigned a different task for fixing a bug on the existing code, and because of we already spent a lot of efforts and time, while we are developing or introducing new features, and now out of sudden we receive some new task, and this is the priority one because of it, this is impacting the production environment, so we have to switch. So there is one possibility, like we can take a backup somewhere and put the existing one, and again we can pull the code from the master branch, or the production branch, and then start working on. This is a one possibility, but Git is, instead of doing all these stuff manually, Git is providing us a stash kind of features where we can create a stash on existing working area, and this is the kind of temporary copy. We are temporarily copying the code, and we can start with the new task, and later once we complete of fixing the bugs and all, then we can again switch back on the previous version where we are working on. So this will we will explore in detail about the stress. Next we will cover the merge and rebase, so kind of merging two branches. We have two options, like merging. Yeah, we have the merge command and rebase commands. So how we can merge the code by using both of uh, the way, and what are the advantages if we going to merge by merge command or rebase command. So we will explore in detail in the session. And conflict resolutions, so here we will cover like all possible cases where the uh, possibly conflict can be occurred, and how we can resolve. Do we have options to only resolve the conflict manually, or do we have the tool that we can use in terms of resolving? So all these aspects we will cover during the conflict resolution. Squash merging, this is also interesting features Git is providing us, where because of if we are working on a feature branch and we have multiple commits, and when we are going, before going to pushing the code into the local repository or remote repository, before pushing the code to the remote repository, so kind of cleaning off non-related unwanted commits, or it's kind of we are going to rewriting the commit history before pushing the code to the repository. So we will see how effectively we can utilize this feature squares. This is also very interesting and crucial one. And merge tool, how we can configure the like some GUI tool, merge tools. Um, in configuration environment, how we can use that one, and then with the help of that, how we can merge the code and even resolve the conflict as well. So in this session we will cover. So we will cover the tortoise merge, and because of this is the freeware, and we can install in our Apache Tomcat tortoise merge. And definitely we have many other P4 merge and kind of many other tools that we can install and then we can use, so that those we can also configure, but during the session we will cover this one. Yes, next one is like changes rollback. So this is also the crucial one, and definitely if something we did wrong and we want to roll back those things, the changes, the wrong things, or the changes. Um, Yeah, could be in working area, staging area, or in local repository that we want to revert it or rollback. So that we can do with the help of checkout, reset, and revert command. So all three commands we will see in details by live demo, and even we will focus more on to understand the reset and revert differences. Other concept in day to day we heard about few words like head branch, base branch, and detached has. So these kind of concept we will cover. We will also cover in git ignore files advantage, and how we effectively utilize this particular files, and we will use eclipse tool as well in terms of creating project and pushing the code in the local area or remote area, or pulling the code from the remote areas or something, and how we can um, add the indexing area code into the index area, how we can commit. So all these operations we will cover also using the tools. So here we are going to cover and the eclipse tool. Okay, so this is something like a repository. You can see the user is going to write something in your working area. Once the user completed their job, the next job of user to add those into the staging area, indexing area. Once the code is in a staging area, indexing area, then the user rule is to commit the same into the local repository. So this is something like we are going to commit in the local repository. So we should segregate, like this is kind of logical boundary we should always keep in mind. So we should focus first is here every changes that user is trying to do, they supposed to work on their local repository. They never directly put something or something in the remote repository. Remote repository is something else. This is the cloud um, hosting environment. Yes, definitely a local repository can be pushed to the, like the changes can be pushed from the local repository to remote repository. Likewise, we can also use so hopefully this will help you in detail when you'll go through the next sessions and all. Thank you.